Welcome, students. I'm really happy to have you back. Welcome to the new academic session. So once again, we can start our deliberation and discussions as we begin our academic journey. Okay, to begin with, this session is on global business finance. Uh, Before I get into the subject, let me discuss some of the particularities of this virtual mode. Okay, as you are all aware, we are using the Google Meet platform to conduct our session here on global business finance. Now, though we are not having a classroom session, okay, this is a virtual mode. But let me tell you, we will make sure that you get everything that you used to get in a normal classroom. Okay, so this is going to be like the same classroom sessions which we are going to have with all our classmates. And we will make sure that we track the attendance, right? So here also we have made sure that we can take your attendance, okay, for which we have installed a attendance app. If you can we are having a an apple shaped attendance meet app. If you can see, look at the icon, right? Okay, so what is the use of it? Once you join the session on the Google Meet, make sure you're using the Christ University email ID to join the session. So the moment you join, the app will record your timings, and it will also record the timing when you leave the session. Now, in between also, you have to be very much present, as I will be putting across some questions, and I'll be calling out names, and the particular student has to answer. Secondly, you can even use the chat box. Okay, now you will see, you will say, ma'am, there is no board as such, because this is a finance subject and we very much would like to have a whiteboard, right? Yes, here also we have tried to get a whiteboard for you in the form of a Jamboard. Okay, I will just show you the Jamboard. Okay, so students, this is the Jamboard which I was talking about. Okay, here is our marker. Yeah, you can select. So here we can write stuff. We have the duster whereby I can erase. Okay, there is one more option. I can clear frame directly. I don't need to wipe and the entire thing. Okay, the particularity of this Jamboard is not only will I be able to use the board, okay, I as the host of this session, not only will I be able to use the board, but you students can also use the board if I tell you to come and write something or make your point clear. How you will do that is, I have this shares. Okay, I will go to share. Yeah, here you can see anyone at Christ University with this link. Okay, I have copied the link. Right? And yes, so that was our Jamboard. The link which I have copied, I will make sure that I will put it in the chat box. The moment I put it on the chat box, you can click on that, and if you have logged in with your Christ University email ID as you are supposed to do, even you can come and write something on the Jamboard. That is how we can have an interaction, and we can even try to solve sums, though the handwriting will not be that clear, but still with lot of practice we can learn to put things into better use and into better mode. Okay, moving along, let us start with the subject, that is global business finance. Okay, since I suppose all of you have completed at least one MOOC course, and online teaching mode will not be a new platform for you. But this session which we are going to have is not something which you will only listen. You are also supposed to take part and answer. The module will be divided into a synchronous mode and a asynchronous mode. Synchronous mode will consist of our sessions which we are having right now. Okay, which will consist of our discussion, deliberation on the topic. asynchronous mode, whereby I will be giving you handouts, material to read, right? You will be getting case studies, and also there would be an assessment of quiz or assignment which I will be putting across to you through the asynchronous mode. So there would be the classroom session as well as a session for homework, whereby you would have to take part in the asynchronous mode. To begin with, about the subject of global business finance, this subject was formerly known as the international financial management. It is also called the multinational financial management, and the textbook which is recommended for this course is Shapiro. Okay, for the asynchronous session, that is, once we complete this session, I will be sharing a link which will consist of the PDF of the textbook. I know we can't go back to the library to take or borrow a book of Shapiro, but we can all go through this PDF link, which is a virtual, what you say, a virtual mode of the textbook itself, right? Okay, moving ahead, let us begin with, I hope all of you would be able to see the PPT which I will be starting with. Okay, so today we are going to start with the session on the global business finance, that is the unit 1, which is of an introduction. Okay, so you will be wondering what you will be learning in this particular subject. Okay, this particular subject is basically on foreign exchange market and has a lot of micro and macroeconomics to it. You will be learning about the strategies that are adopted by multinational companies. You will be learning about the crisis, the economic crisis, the history of economic crisis faced by several economies. You will also be learning about strategies that are adopted by MNCs to survive. Okay, moving ahead, let us go to the first slide. What is a multinational company? Well, a multinational corporation is a company engaged in producing and selling goods or services in more than one country. All of us have known that companies in India or in any part of the world, they export and import goods. But what does these MNCs do? Well, an MNC is a company which does not really import and export, but instead of doing that, the MNC starts a business of its own in another country. So, for example, if I have a company in India, which is the parent company, I will go to any part of the world in any economy or country and will open a subsidiary. Okay, a subsidiary firm that will help me, that is useful for my business to grow. Okay, there are various reasons why there are MNCs. We will come to it afterwards. So what is an MNC? As we described, a company which is already there, a parent company, it is going abroad to another country and starting its business. We have several examples of successful MNCs. To name few, we have the McDonald's, we have the IBM. All these companies, they are having a parent company in one nation and subsidiaries spread across various parts of the world. Okay, as I told you, this will be an interactive sessions. Can I see few answers, few examples of what do you really understand or by an MNC? Can I look at the chat box? Give me some examples of MNCs. I want to know some examples of MNCs. McDonald, IBM, Nestle. These are the examples which I have shared. I want few examples from your side. Okay, okay, fine. Let us go back. So, as we know, the United Nations, okay, the United Nations estimated in 2010, that was 10 years back, that over 82,000 parent companies around the world. Okay, there were 82,000 parent companies, or we can say MNCs, with over 8,07,000 foreign subsidiaries employing 80 million workers. So you can see, now we are in the year 2020, and this figure of 82,000 must have gone beyond like anything. Okay, so yeah, so that was about the MNCs. Now, before we move ahead with the reasons as to why MNCs are there, as to know why they exist, why do companies exist, let us understand let us try to look at the theories. Okay, so before the MNCs evolved, before we had the first MNC, okay, there were these traditional economists whom we call the classical economists, especially Adam Smith and David Ricardo, who were very much with the theory of comparative advantage. Now you must have heard this word comparative advantage in your economic classes, which tells us that a country needs to specialize in a commodity which it has in abundance, or which in which it is proficient. Okay, so if India with its climate and geographical condition has certain raw material, it should actually focus on that and export that raw material, and try to import those commodities, especially those which are difficult to make in India. But MNC is something different than that. It is not going as per the convention of the classical economist or the traditional economist. What MNCs believe is, instead of exporting and importing, why can't we go to the foreign nation itself, start a subsidiary there, and try to gain by the raw material available, by the market that is available, by the cost minimization that is available, right? So the comparative advantage, though we are still there are many companies using this policy, they are exporting and importing, but MNCs don't really do that. They are going ahead of this comparative advantage. And what is the reason, why at all do they do that? Why do companies go global? Okay, so why do MNCs go global, and or why do they become MNCs at all? First, they are in search of raw material, especially the companies like Shell, like British Petroleum. They try to go and seek where they can find these petroleum oils. Okay, they try to put their subsidiaries, or take their business to those countries which have these reservoirs of petroleum crude oil, right? Next is, they are market seeking. Okay, the second reason why companies go global is they are seekers of the market. For example, we have a very popular example of McDonald's, we have the example of IBM. Okay, these companies, they have put their business all across the globe, especially because they want the market, they want a wider base of customer, so that is why they go global. Then the other reason is they want to have cost minimization. There are companies, for example IBM, okay, they try to take their subsidiaries to other countries where they can reduce their cost of operation. One example is they can have cheap labor. Okay, next is knowledge seeking. MNCs go global because they want to build upon their knowledge, learn about the environment in a foreign country, develop a product there, and get all these advantages. And lastly, to keep domestic customers. Keeping domestic customers, what does that mean? Suppose if I am there, I'm having a business in India. Okay, I want to become an MNC. Okay, I try to take my business to a foreign country, open subsidiaries in various parts of the world. There were suppliers who were primarily providing me with the raw material. Okay, so they don't want to lose me as a customer. So as I take up my business to a other country or to other economies, my suppliers to whom I was a domestic customer will also be keen to travel along with me, so that they don't lose me as a customer, and again they can make use of all these what you say, all these advantages of going global. Okay, so these are the reasons why MNCs go global. There can be n number of reasons. Okay, now before we get more into the strategies adopted by MNCs at this introductory stage, it is important for you to know few terms or terminologies which are very important for this subject. First is the exchange rate. Many of you might be aware of that. Okay, what exactly is an exchange rate? Okay, an exchange rate is simply the price of one nation's currency in terms of another currency, often termed as the reference currency. Okay, so here we are having an exchange rate which is yen per dollar exchange rate. Okay, this yen per dollar exchange rate, let me show it to you on our Jamboard. We haven't made use of it. Now let us go to the Jamboard. Yes. So for example, if I write down